TP and KF is the third episode of the 5th season of All Grown Up, and I didn't really care for this episode. I wouldn't say I disliked it, but there wasn't really anything about it that I found interesting. This is set around Halloween, and that's unfortunate that I didn't like it because Halloween is one of my favourite things ever. I love Halloween in animation, and I feel like it just wasn't as fun as it could have been. The Halloween aspect mostly focuses on Dill, who has decided to go trick-or-treating early so that he doesn't have to run into all of the crowds. But it didn't really occur to him that if he's going early, people might not have things ready to give to trick-or-treaters. So not his best decision, didn't really care for that part of the narrative. Again, I should have done because I love Halloween. The main part, and the part mentioned in the title, revolves around the fact that the characters find the initials carved in the Finster's garage, TP and KF. And Chuckie thinks that it must mean that Tommy had a crush on Kimi. He thinks that Tommy carved those initials, but Tommy is not admitting it. He is not admitting this at all. So did he do it? Well, I don't really care. Honestly, I feel like it wasn't made out to be exciting. It wasn't that fascinating. I really wasn't bothered what the outcome was. And I think it would have been clear to realise that it wasn't something anybody did recently. So even if Tommy did once upon a time have a crush on Kimi, I don't know why you'd hold it against your best friend who maybe had a crush on your sister when you were like 6. So it just seems to be way over the top, and Chuckie's response was ridiculous. And with Tommy, I can understand, because if you're saying you didn't do something and somebody is telling you that you're lying, that's going to hurt. But who would care if once upon a time your young friend had a crush on your equally young sister? I don't think it matters very much. So I feel like the whole thing was just completely ludicrous and not that interesting, and I didn't really care for it. And I guess a tiny part of me wanted to know the truth. Was Tommy lying? Did somebody else do it? Did the initials not even stand for Tommy Pickles? So I guess there was a tiny bit of curiosity there, but not enough for me to say that I really enjoyed the narrative. So it was fine. It wasn't bad as such, but it wasn't a very good episode. I feel like the Halloween aspect could have been a lot more interesting, but the story as a whole, I didn't really care for it. Definitely not a personal favourite episode.